Hi, I'm Daryl from Kryptonite. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about proper lockup using a chain. The chain we want to highlight is the Kryptolok Series 2 integrated chain. A couple important things to remember when locking up your bike with a chain. Always lock to a stationary object that you can't lift the bike over or it can't be cut. You always want to lock up in a well-lit area, and you always want to make sure that you're locking the bike according to the value. First the frame, then the rear wheel, then the front wheel. And when locking the bike, make sure that you're creating a snug fit. You want to make sure that there's no slack in the chain. So remember, it's not just about the lock you use, it's also how you lock your bike and locking it properly. Make sure to lock to an immovable object. Lock according to value, the frame, the rear wheel, and then the front wheel. And always make sure you create a snug.
Once you have invested in a bike, you want to protect it from theft. You should never leave your bike unsecure, even for a few minutes. Hi, I'm Mary. Today we're going to talk about how to choose the bike lock and how to use it correctly so you can be sure your bike is always in the place you left it. There are several styles of locks to choose from. The most popular are chain or cable locks, or D or U locks. All styles come with either key or combination closures. It may be okay to use a thinner lock if you are trying to prevent an opportunistic theft. But for longer time periods and higher crime areas, you'll want to maximize security by choosing a thicker lock or using two locks combined. First, let's find a good place to park your bike. Try to leave it in a prominent location on a bike rack. Having the bike visible is a preventative step and deters someone from tampering with it while you are away. Always lock your bike to a fixed, solid object that the lock can't be lifted over and cannot be cut. A bike rack is perfect, but in a pinch, a railing, fence, or tall post could work. Be sure that there is no ordinance against bike parking at the spot, and look around to see if leaving a bike there makes sense. If it is blocking pedestrian traffic or a sidewalk, then find a different place. The most valuable part of the bike is the frame. If the frame can be taken, then the entire bike can be taken. Whenever you can, use the lock around the frame. Don't use the lock on just the front wheel or seat post, since they are the easiest parts to remove with just a hex wrench or a quick release lever. For ultimate security, you may want to bring them with you. If you can only lock one wheel, then lock the rear wheel. The hub and cassette make the rear wheel much more valuable than the front. A secure way to lock a bike is by using the double lock method. Using a U-lock to secure one wheel and the frame, wrap a second cable lock around the other wheel and frame. With two locks, it would take two different tools to steal your bike. Remember, if you only have one lock, secure the rear wheel and the frame. Before leaving your bike, be sure to remove anything of value that isn't permanently attached, like bags, lights, or water bottles. Another tip, make sure you have the serial number of your bike and check to see if your municipality registers bikes. In the event that your bike is stolen or missing, its serial number can help law enforcement return it to you. Serial numbers are usually found under the bottom bracket of that bike. At night or for long-term storage, put your bike indoors, in a shed, or on a porch where it can be protected from the elements and can be secured or locked using the double lock method. Remember, there is no lock that is 100% theft-proof. If someone has enough time and determination, then the lock can be compromised. But these simple tips are good precautions for keeping your bike safe and secure.
Hey, I'm Daryl from Kryptonite. Today I'd like to talk to you about properly locking your bike with a U-lock. A few things to remember before we get started. First, always lock in a well-lit area. No dark alleys. Second, always lock to a stationary object that cannot be cut and that you cannot easily remove the bike from. Third, always lock according to value. First, your number one priority is your frame, second is your rear wheel, and third is your front wheel. Now let's do this. So first you take your shackle and you come around and capture the frame and the rear wheel and just connect the crossbar. What you want to remember is you want to take up as much usable space here in the shackle as possible so a thief cannot get a tool in there. You also want to make sure the lock is elevated up off the ground with the keyway facing down. Today I'd like to also show you a few more ways to get added security that will include your front wheel. One of the ways is using a double loop cable. What you want to do is run the cable around your front wheel, securing it with the shackle of the U-lock. This gives you additional protection But remember, a cable is just a secondary deterrent. It is never to be used in place of a U-lock, and always make sure that the U-lock is what's locking to the immovable object. Another option for adding additional security or lockup is to use a mini chain on your front wheel. All you want to do here is make sure that you're locking your frame to the front wheel. Another popular option is for folks that carry a second U-lock. Again, all you want to do here is lock the frame to the front wheel. So let's recap. Remember, always lock in a well-lit area. Always lock to a stationary object that can't be cut and that you can't lift the bike up and over. And always lock according to value. First priority is the frame, then the rear wheel, then the front wheel. And remember, when you're locking the bike, always keep the lock up off the ground with the keyway facing down.
Hi, my name's John, and today I'm going to be talking about the Kryptonite Kryptolok Fold. The Kryptonite Kryptolok Fold comes in two sizes, the 610, which is 100 centimeters long, and the 685, which is 85 centimeters long. Both have 5mm hardened steel bars and washers. They are rated 6 out of 10 on our security scale, making them moderate security locks, and are eligible for our anti-theft protection offer. Don't forget you have to register online to activate the ATPO. The Kryptolok Fold locks are great for quick stops in metropolitan areas and suburbs, or for longer lockups such as a couple of hours or all day in rural areas. As you would expect from Kryptonite, these locks come with a lifetime warranty and are covered with our KeySafe program. If you register your keys online, we can ship 2 keys for free globally in the event you lose them. The Kryptolok 610 and 685 locks fold up to be really compact, making them very easy to transport in the carrier included. The carrier also includes a rubber strap that can be amended to suit right or left-handed users. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to install the Kryptolok transport carrier onto your bicycle frame. There are a couple of ways to mount this carrier. You can fit the carrier using the mounting straps included anywhere on the inside of the bike frame. Or you can use the provided screws to mount on the braze-ons or water bottle mount. We recommend using the braze-ons if available. When mounting only using the straps, find a location on the bike that won't interfere with anything else you have mounted or your pedal stroke. Make sure you're checking with the lock in the carrier. The lock head should always be pointing up or level. Place the mounting straps through the mounting ports on the back of the transport bracket. Wrap the straps tightly around the bicycle frame so that the bracket is tight to the frame and does not move. Make sure the screw portion is opposite the mounting ports. Take a Phillips head screwdriver to guide the screws into the mounting strap holes and tighten until snug. Make sure the carrier is secured tightly and does not interfere with your pedal stroke, brake or shift functions. Feel free to trim the excess strap material with a pair of snips. When mounting to the braze-ons, first remove any hardware. Check to ensure that the provided screws fit. If there are any issues, feel free to use the existing braze-on screws that came with your bike. Mount the carrier to the braze-ons using the holes in the bracket. Place the washer on the screw and pass through the hole in the transport bracket until it sits on the braze-on. Turn the screw a few times to ensure it is not cross-threaded. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten the two provided screws through the bracket and into the bicycle frame until snug. The Kryptonite Kryptolok Fold, a flexible lock with 5mm hardened steel bars for stress-free secure lockups. It folds to be really compact in the included carrier for easy transportation. A moderate security lock, great for locking up for a quick stop in metropolitan areas or suburbs, or for longer periods of time in rural areas.